Hello, everyone, and welcome to the PopCorner podcast. I don't know what episode this is.
Absolutely have no idea. But new year, new us.
It could be
It's 2024, man. We're restarting.
we're restarting. And today we have a laundry list of things we actually need to talk about, some of which I've already told him we're talking about, some of which I've come up with in the last few minutes while thinking about what I want to talk about.
Uh-oh.
But roughly, we're going to take about an hour, maybe a little bit less. And I want to start.
Like I say, this is just probably just going to be like a video of just a bunch of random topics.
It's going to be a bunch of things, but hopefully, if this is your first time seeing us, it's an introduction to what we are and
what we'll be doing.
And how we talk. Normally, we talk about a specific
Movie.
topic, issue.
Usually movie, but issues, video games.
Yeah. But today, we have a few things we want to talk about. Obviously, this is probably what I'll title the video. We want to talk about Scream 7 and everything going on with that, because we have covered in this podcast every
Scream
movie of Scream up until this point. That was actually our first podcast.
Yep, our very first franchise we've ever sat down and watched.
Yes, so that's one thing I want to do, or we want to do, and then actually I want to start with a little bit of an icebreaker.
All right, let's hear it, gamer.
New year, new us, old us.
That's what they say. New year, new us.
So I want to talk a little bit about your personal. Hello, my name is Coleman. This is Draven. Okay. Draven, I wanted you to tell us about your resolutions. Do you have any?
Resolutions?
Is it 3840 x 2160? Because that's what we're recording in.
I'm going to be real honest with you. I don't actually do New Year's resolutions because 9 times out of 10, if I did do them, I wouldn't be keeping them. I'd be like, oh, first day of the month?
9 out of 10. You're just like those dentists.
Thank you. No, I don't really have anything for this year other than I am feeling very content-ishy. So you might be getting your second video on my channel. You might be getting it.
Okay, we need to break that down for a minute. So it's important to note that my friend here, he's kind of like Owl City. Fireflies. He's a one-hit wonder. Or Aha with Take On Me. One-hit wonder, 100%. He dropped one banger of like an hour-long video, 40 minutes, whatever it was.
Yep.
And he's breaking down and he's tier listing Scream characters.
characters.
Now, in that video, if you pay attention, you'll notice that it doesn't matter if she's the most minor side character that is in the movie for 5 seconds. If she's a blonde, she's going to hit B tier at least. That's something
wait a minute.
that's something you're going to notice in that video.
Oh, you just rewatched it recently.
I did, and that's what I noticed.
You got the fresh outtake on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
And so that's something you're going to notice in that video, but that's interesting.
Listen, it was all about chase scenes, the characters, the development, the things they go through, the killers. Listen, we went through it all, but we only went through the first 4 because 5 just came out when I did it. Or at least it was still freshly new, and I didn't want to spoil anything for anyone. So
well, because it was before 6. And if it was before 6, that means 5 had been out for less than a year.
Yeah. What about if I'd go do a fresh one for you? Get
a fresh Scream?
list. Fresh list. Maybe just do 5 and 6 alone, like the new ones. We'll see.
Can't say new trilogy, can you?
What about you, gamer? What's the resolutions?
Oh wait, hang on. I don't want to move on from yours just yet.
Oh, okay.
Are we able to confirm that this is Left 4 Dead, or is this not Left 4 Dead territory?
So what, the next video?
Yeah. Are we thinking like Friday? Or?
I got a few concepts in my mind right now. I'm thinking Left 4 Dead because I already recorded it, but I'm also thinking Friday because Friday the 13th, the game is officially offline now. Well, it's still
offline or is it delisted?
It's just you can't buy it now.
Right.
So if you don't own it, you can't purchase it.
Just like the Kim Kardashian mobile game. They took it off storefronts.
We'll be seeing them.
But it won't be offline until April 8th.
Yeah, we still have until December of this year.
December 31st, right?
Until it shuts down.
So January 1st, 2025, you can no longer play Friday the 13th.
It's either going to be a Left 4 Dead or Friday, or I'm dabbling in some like Dead Rising, maybe going a little bit of cartoon territory. I don't know. Right now I'm in the Scream vibe again.
Scream vibe.
It's like, I don't know, just seeing all the news. Like, I'm just like, man, we're really just falling from grace here. However, I'm thinking of all the good movies we've had, and I'm like, man, we need to talk about it.
You know what would be a good video, or
What's
like
that?
a good podcast topic, and I don't want to like really talk about it too much because I think it would be a good idea, is like the best horror movie for each holiday.
Each holiday?
Like, you know, like obviously Halloween.
Being Halloween related.
That's probably got to be Halloween. Yeah. Then there's the Christmas ones. There's Valentine's Day. I'm sure.
My Bloody Valentine's the one that comes to mind.
Yeah, I'm sure something happened on Labor Day.
We got Thanksgiving now.
Yeah, which that you wouldn't expect that one, but that's one. So I'm just saying.
Leprechaun movies.
Yeah, there's something to that. So
we could do a video one day, maybe going through, break down some like relevant movies that are related to holidays.
Right. There's a concept there. But okay, so that's content is a resolution I'm always going to be behind because I need to see my friends succeed.
I think that the content for my own channel, I'm going to start posting more content on TikToks because I was doing pretty decent on there for a while. And then I just stopped.
Listen, your TikToks were bangers, except every once in a while you'd post one and I just wouldn't get it. Not because I didn't think it was funny. Like, whatever the edit would be funny. I would just be like, I don't understand the inside joke of this.
Yeah, well, most of mine are Overwatch related. So, like, yours you wouldn't get because you don't play Overwatch very often. But I think content for the YouTube, for maybe some TikTok going forward, and then actually putting uploads here. That's all I'm saying.
Yes.
That's something we both, I feel like, have a resolution for.
I guess we could bounce off that a little bit. Or I can bounce off that one and we can take it into a PopCorner specific question.
Okay.
Yeah, so regular uploads. Listen, man, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Holidays got pretty hectic.
Listen, there's going to be an interim episode. I still never posted Get Out, all right? It's going to have, and if we're going to do this weekly anyway, it's going to be posted probably like Monday or Tuesday. I actually have it scheduled to go up tomorrow.
Yo, do it. You won't.
I think we should still get this one out.
This one first.
At the beginning of the year if we're making it our New Year's plan. So, okay, I'm saying it now. This episode will be out on Friday, January 5th. If you come back on Monday, January 8th, I had to do that math for a minute there, you'll see our episode on Get Out that we recorded last year, like beginning of December, that I never posted because I was lazy. It's a big upload. It's already uploaded now.
Well, thus begins the era of actually uploading.
Yes.
So this is a new channel, if you didn't know. We uploaded on his channel for a while, and we actually kept up with doing it for 30 consecutive weeks.
Yeah, and if you look up PopCorner, you will probably find my other channel, Falling Hurts, where I have a decent following. It's just that the long videos that don't get as many views because it's not really algorithm specific.
It's not algorithm for you, your content.
As opposed to the shorter, well, not short, like shorts, but shorter videos that
10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Did really well, or at the time were doing really, really well. Then it's YouTube was like, well, do we recommend this person or do we not? People aren't watching it, but then they are watching it. And it was just kind of I kind of screwed myself a little bit, and I think I've bounced back from that mostly if I posted another video.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I was always in favor of making a channel just for this anyway. And, we're doing it for fun anyway.
Right.
That's all we're here for, just to talk some media, some movies, games, whatevs. And
ultimately, it's a reason for us to hang out in person.
That's fair.
But
and if we end up making a community, that'd be cool. We'd love to take, suggestions for movies, and, tell you what we think about movies you want. We go and watch new movies in theaters sometimes on launch days.
And on those, we've said this before on this channel, I believe, as well, but new movies that we see opening, you said launch day.
I know, I did say launch day. I know.
when new movies come out and we see them opening night, ideally, then we'll still try to have that out by the next day.
Yeah, we come, right here, after and record,
But that will not be spoilers.
Yeah, those aren't spoilers. Spoiler-free.
And so
which next time we do that'll be the first time we've done it in the new setup, right? Because the last time we've done that, weren't we still shacking up in the basement?
No, I thought we had one out here. Did we?
I don't know. I don't remember. Nonetheless, though, that is something that if you've seen our old videos, we've started from no camera to just a little bit of a camera to a better setup. The only thing we still need to figure out is lighting and picture image wise.
I don't know what it is with the picture image. I don't know what we're gonna have to do because
we'll just have to sit down one day and just mess with it before we start.
Yeah, because we always wait until the last second and then we're really jonesing to get going.
Yeah, it's always late, so we just
So,
don't
like,
have enough time to sit here and mess with it
yeah.
for hours.
So I need to mess with it at some point, but I just don't know what to do. I mean,
I'm sure if we sat down and actually constructively worked on it, we'd get it.
yeah.
But
Like, I'm looking at it now, I just don't understand. I mean, I look great, you look great, but like,
yeah, we'll figure it out though.
You know?
I think over the year though, I want us to figure this issue out with like video camera related
Yeah,
things.
for sure.
And then listen, if we start getting the ball moving, even I might want to take a peek of these videos, maybe put some edits in myself.
oh my goodness.
I'm
oh my
I'm feeling
goodness.
editing.
Gonna have to
so
give him the keys to the castle, let him put out some shorts.
that way we can get a little crazy with it.
Yes.
But-
Oh, and if you do manage to see this video first and subscribe, then thank you. But one thing that you will see on the channel outside of uploads of like the normal length podcast will be shorts of that current podcast. Ideally one or two, and in those shorts we can post links to if somebody comes across the shorts in the feed or whatever, if they're like a mindless little TikTok drone, they can click on that video, they'll be like, oh, look at this podcast, I'm gonna listen to this podcast. They listen to it ideally and they like it, but ideally that will fill in the interim days, or at least every other, something like that, in between a weekly podcast.
Yeah, so not having the podcast yet.
The other thing to consider is that I would love to get the old podcasts over here from my channel
Yeah,
at
like,
some point.
move them.
I just don't know logistically how I'm going to do it, because some of them I still have on my hard drive. Some of them
you
I've
deleted.
deleted once I uploaded them. So I'll have to go in and download them
Download them or
or
like record it
record it.
and put it in. Yeah,
Yeah.
which will
And
take some time, but I mean it won't be that bad. But
No, I don't-
just whenever. Yeah.
that will be, it's just time. Probably dead of summer I'll do something like that or something. But yeah. So that's pretty much it for this channel. I don't think there's anything crazy.
Yeah, just something fun to do.
Yeah,
I
I mean-
talk some movies, man. Why not?
Yeah.
And then I would say this video is basically just. I would say this is basically like the introduction to our channel in general. When we made this, we just started going.
We did a soft.
Yeah.
We did a soft like introduction before, but that didn't count. The
This is basically the
new
hey,
year. Let's turn over a new leaf, okay?
Yeah. So next week we'll be actually watching. I think we're going to be reviewing the Nightly Swim or whatever it is,
Yes.
because
yeah.
you guys are watching it on Saturday, this Saturday, and I'm watching it on Tuesday. So
And for that, okay, that's important to note. So next Friday, that will come out.
Mhm.
No spoilers.
now we'll do no spoilers because
Yeah, it's
it'll be
only been a week.
It'll be a
It'll have been a
freshly
week.
new movie.
Yeah. So we won't be fresh off of that movie. We'll be seeing it on different days. Usually we go together.
Mm.
But we will be seeing Nightly Swim. But still, on Monday, will be Get Out, one of the best movies ever made. I stand by that. And with that being said, do we continue on with our topics? or-
Yeah, like I said, we got a few topics loaded up to go. I was gonna say this is basically just us telling you this is the channel, this is what we're doing, this is what we're gonna be doing. New year, new us, and then
Yep.
we'll talk about some just important topics for like media related or just in general, like things to talk about, and then we'll get started next week with some movies again, like our normal schedules. So,
That sounds good. Yeah. Okay, so
what's the first topic you got?
I've got two big topic points of conversation in my mind.
Okay,
A or B.
we'll go B.
Okay, so we're gonna talk Scream 7 first.
Okay.
Okay.
Yikes.
So Scream 7 is a movie that,
Will probably still happen. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Whether we like it or not.
yes, it's gonna happen. It may take longer than they initially anticipated now, but this is a movie that last year at this point in time, or well, when did that movie come out?
What?
The
Scream
six.
6?
Was it?
It was
March?
beginning of the year. It was towards the beginning, I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember when that movie came out, but anyway, it came out very early in the year.
It was earlier, yeah.
And so, okay, let's say a little less than a year ago, I would have thought Scream 7 was going to be a slam dunk trilogy
Absolutely.
finale that ended this franchise. I don't,
For a while. I think it would have kept it dormant for about another decade or so until maybe someone will have some other ideas, but
yeah.
I think because that's something that I've talked about before in our actual Scream vids, is that like this franchise has done really well at not overstaying its welcome. It's done really well at having a story, having a plot, doing it, and then connecting the dots and then when it's done with its story to be told, it leaves.
Yes.
You know, it's not a Friday the 13th, a Halloween. It's not going to hit you with 15 different movies every single year.
Yeah.
And, you know, Radio Silence, the new guys who did 5 and 6, have done a fantastic job, in my opinion. I mean...
biggest criticism that we had for the podcast was that they didn't kill people.
In 6.
In 6.
6 was...
yeah, well, obviously they did in 5.
But 6, the thing that we, at least I discussed, and I'm pretty sure you agreed, was that 6 was fine for not killing our core 4 characters. If in Scream 7 they didn't pull back and they actually started come in punching.
Yeah, like yes.
Yeah. That was the drawback for us is, okay, this movie got us attached to these characters that we didn't really care for that much in 5.
Yeah, I agree, because in 5 you were too caught up with the idea, hey, my original trio's here.
Yeah.
That's who I can care about.
And then
then maybe you got a little bit of, you know, Jenna Ortega's kind of blew up in the interim between the movies, and then, I don't know. I mean,
even Sam at the time was getting, Melissa was getting heat from people because not being as good as Sydney, which was stupid.
Right.
But, and then Scream 6 came out, and then look at that turnaround. Melissa, Sam's character, became a big hit all of a sudden.
Right.
And then Jenna Ortega's character was good. And then they made Mason's character, they made him fantastic.
They made him great because in Scream 5, like at the end of Scream 5, I never pegged him as a main character.
Yeah, he was just there.
Like, whereas in Scream 6 he is.
Mm-hmm.
And in Scream 5, it's like when they, you know, killed him off in 5, you know, I was like, that makes sense. That's fine. Like, that didn't do anything for me either. That was the other thing. It's like, I didn't care. He wasn't a main character to me. I mean, he was hardly on the movie.
That's why I think I gave him the benefit of the doubt for 6, is because it got us connected to these characters on an emotional level. You know, the whole Core 4 thing and, like, getting us all connected with them. And they brought back, like, Kirby and stuff. Like, that was fun.
Yes. Like,
it was done very well.
Scream 6, it's weird that there's not a lot of movies that I would give that benefit of the doubt to, of, like, because what you said is very true, and we said as much on the Scream 6 review, that if they weren't killing them in order to really just lay it all out there in the next one, and I'm not saying everybody needed to die.
Exactly.
But in order to allow attachment to grow a little more, because everybody knew there was going to be a 7, and Scream 6 was like the most successful one, or something like that, and so, you know, it just felt like, at the time, it was like, well, you know, we probably should just accept that maybe that's what's happening. And it felt like a slam dunk opinion.
Yeah,
right?
It really did. I feel like that's what the majority rule of the opinions were, was, all right, we got connected. Next movie, they're going to rip our hearts out.
Right. And so all of that, and Scream has this, like, really strong fandom behind, like, individual characters, random side characters, anything like that. There's fan cams of fucking
Scream 3.
a mop in a closet.
Dude,
in
you're right.
These movies.
Freaking, oh my God. Mr. Handel, I love you. Okay. He's fantastic. I thought he was the killer. The killer that was in Scream 3, the dog. Dude. Sydney's dog. He was in on it.
I thought I actually uncovered, like, a secret fandom that you were a part of for a minute there, and I, like, triggered, like, a Russian sleeper agent. Like, your chain code is...
Yeah, I was gonna say, for real though, like, you could see, like, I don't know, like, Scream 3 is one of those ones that, like, a lot of people see as the weaker part of the franchise, and people still go crazy with it.
I'm people. So we say all of that about the good graces and the strong will
of the franchise.
Fans, consumer sentiment, and even creativity from Radio Silence.
Yeah, I was gonna say, they did Wes Craven
to say
very
that
well.
They fucked it up, quite frankly. They fucked it up.
They sure did.
And
it's
is it Paramount?
And it's more like Spyglass.
Spyglass, I guess, is the under company there. So yeah, I knew it wasn't Paramount directly, but it's distribution through Paramount. So.
Well, so Spyglass,
they're looking for some fuck ups, and they made one.
Oh yeah.
All right.
Well,
go ahead.
Here's the thing, though. It's weird because Spyglass, this is one of their most popular IPs right now. Why would you want to mess it up? And I guess the leader of the Spyglass, well, I don't know his name, so I'm not even going to try saying it, but I guess the head of Spyglass or whatever has the opinion, rumored anyway, that he quote unquote said things like, "We don't need them. They don't make the franchise." Thus, things like
Oh,
Nev.
he's an original Scream quadrilogy fan.
I don't know.
That's what
man.
it is. He's like, we just need.
Ghostface. That's basically what he thinks. Is the characters don't matter, even though Ghostface whole personality and story and character revolves around a plot of the characters.
Yeah.
Like it's not like it's not Michael Myers. Well, not Michael Myers. More like Jason. Jason Voorhees just walking around in a camp going.
See, it's interesting that that's the idea, because I think Scream as an anthology series would be fine, but that's not what it's been.
No, it's always been connected
You can't
with the plot.
build a trilogy and then in the third movie say, we don't need you. We don't need you. Go fuck yourselves. So, to explain this conflict, one and truly, should we start at the beginning?
Let's go right from the
Alright.
get-go, dude.
Okay,
Spyglass, you
No.
absolute geniuses.
it's Israel. It's the 1940s.
I didn't think we were going back that far.
The Gaza Strip. No. Okay, so
Oh, no.
Israel, IDF, Hamas, Gaza, Palestine,
Yeah,
all that stuff.
some serious stuff. But
Anyway, so that's above our pay grade.
I don't even keep up with it, so I don't know a lot
I mean,
about
from
it.
what I'm seeing, it's free Palestine.
Just gonna say
From what I'm seeing, it's free Palestine.
I'm all about war and death and killing people as a terrible thing, no matter what.
I thought you were gonna say I'm all for it.
No,
Oh, damn.
absolutely not.
Not the strongest way to start.
He's gonna cut
2024.
that and turn that into a clip.
That's a good idea.
No, I just have that general basis, as should almost everyone, in my opinion. That stuff is not.
But didn't you know that saying "stop the violence" is bad?
Is it?
Yeah, saying "stop the fighting" is technically taking a side, because one side is far more powerful than the other side.
Well, my bad. Just fired me from the Scream franchise, then.
Yes. Anyway, all that to say that Melissa Barrera, I don't know. It doesn't matter her last name. I mean, everybody knows it. Look it up. She was fired, and originally it came out that it was because of her.
Because of that,
Yes, but then it came out.
turned out that basically Jenna Ortega was not receiving the money that she was wanting, just like Nev Campbell in Scream 6.
Yeah.
And I guess that she was like, okay, well, I have Wednesday, and they're going to pay me, so later. And thus, without Jenna Ortega, not Paramount, maybe Paramount, but more Spyglass was basically like, well, if we don't have Jenna Ortega, which they probably seen as their quote-unquote biggest star and the rest didn't matter, then she was probably like, they were probably like, all right, well, we don't need you anymore either, Melissa.
Right.
And then fired her for it. So
I remembered seeing that one of the headlines insinuated that she knew about the firing for a little bit, right? Like a month or so? Or a couple weeks, maybe?
yeah, I think so, yeah.
So it wasn't like everybody found out that time, but that dropped, and this is already with the idea that she's going to have, or that Jenna Ortega was going to have a much smaller role. We've known that for,
Yeah.
I feel like almost since Scream 7 was announced.
Yeah, ever since Scream 7 was announced, it was rumoring that she was going to have a small part
Due
to
to
play.
scheduling conflicts,
Yep.
probably with Wednesday and whatever else she's going to get herself into. And so, like, that was always known. And in our heads, we either had it pegged off that she was going to move away and not really be a part of the movie other than maybe a phone call.
Or maybe opening kill or something.
Opening kill.
Yeah.
Now it sheds the light that it was probably because they didn't want to pay her. And so, she's like, well, if you're going to pay me that, I'll show up for this. Maybe. And so that all comes to light. And then now,
Rip. Well,
Jenna Ortega has dropped out, correct?
yeah, I'm pretty sure she's gone.
Jenna-
I'm pretty sure that's confirmed she's gone.
So Jenna has dropped out, and that was pretty quickly after Melissa
yeah.
was fired.
Which people went to the conclusion that it was basically Jenna Ortega sticking up for Melissa, which they're pretty close friends from what I'm aware of, but I don't think,
I don't
I'm pretty
think
sure
so.
Jenna was already dipped before any of this happened.
Yeah.
This was, plus the whole, like, Palestine stuff and all that, I'm pretty sure was all just a quote-unquote cover-up for the reasoning as to
I
why they
almost
fired her.
guarantee it was.
It was, I'm pretty sure it's because of the pay stuff. And then
Probably.
just fired Melissa because of Jenna being gone.
Yeah.
But which is garbage.
Is unfortunate, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And with that in mind, Scream 7 also wasn't being directed by Radio Silence anymore.
Which to some people was already a blow against the film. I thought before we had a confirmation of the new director, it was like, okay, well, let's switch it up for a different director for the third one. That makes sense.
That's just, I don't know. For me, I agree.
I think that's silly of Radio Silence.
Yeah, exactly.
That was irresponsible.
Well, Radio Silence set up this like story, and they were doing so good. People liked them. I felt that they should have stuck it out and done the third one. However, they had other projects. I get it. But the thing is...
No, fuck that. Okay. It's fuck Radio Silence right now because they make great stuff and then they go up and they build this up and they're like, no, we're leaving. No, you don't get to do that. You don't get to... what's another example of this? Okay, so the guys who made... or the showrunners for Game of Thrones, right? They were adapting the books. The last couple seasons, they ran out of book material, right?
Yeah.
So they start writing their own material.
Their own stuff.
It's clearly lesser... But they knew the plot points that George R.R. Martin wanted. So they did everything right. They knew that this was going to happen, this was going to happen. But instead of taking a whole season to get to these points, they cut the seasons basically in half and did 2 seasons worth of stuff in that half season for the last 2 seasons. And so they wonder why none of that shit hits. And then you find out that HBO wanted them to do like 10 seasons. They only did 8 because they wanted to go and make a fucking Star Wars movie. And then Star Wars saw how Game of Thrones ended and how everybody thought of that. And they're like, you guys are gone, man. So go fuck yourselves, D&D. Go fuck yourselves, Radio Silence. Actually not. I'll be there for your film day one.
To be fair, though,
but
I know, though they weren't like directing anymore, Radio Silence apparently was still supposed to be involved in some form.
They should have been.
They were supposed to be still like on
They better
set.
not be now.
I mean, I don't know what's going on now. I have no idea. But obviously, Radio Silence wasn't going to be directing Scream 7. We all knew that. And for a while, it was up in the air of who was going to take their place. Thus, Christopher comes in, and he is the guy who made movies such as Happy Death Day, Freaky, those type of things. He directed those movies. And those are movies that we have done. And
yes.
We have actually, I'm pretty sure we both loved all of those movies that he made. So, for me... I was like, all right, if Radio Silence isn't going to be doing it...
He was really, like, the next best thing.
Yeah, that was the runner-up in my mind.
Yeah, so...
When they said that and announced that, I was like, okay, well, we might still be in the good here.
Yeah.
Before things started going downhill.
And this was before these actresses
yeah.
had their partings. So...
And thus, with these actresses getting these departings... Everyone was wondering, and everyone was going at Christopher over here as to why he hasn't publicly said anything about, like, standing up for Melissa and all that jazz.
I don't follow him on anything, so I didn't see any of that until the announcement.
Really?
From, like, the account, like, all the, like, the Pop Crave accounts and everything. So I didn't know anything about that until that one, so... Yeah, I'll let you continue.
That was just a big thing that happened, is people were going at him, which... You can't really, because he didn't fire them. He didn't do anything.
No, yeah, that wasn't his call.
And also people who are just terminally ill online, or they're just like terminally bound to the internet.
Yeah, they have cancer online.
Dude, they're just bound to the internet to where they think everything has to be said and done there.
Yeah.
And it's like, you don't know what he did in his private time, or who he talked to, or what strings he tried to pull to save people, or what else.
Yeah.
You don't know that.
And even if he didn't, like, I'm not saying... Like, I was joking about fuck Radio Silence, but, like, realistically speaking, like, when one entity does this and this new guy comes in, do you expect, like, the meme where it's, like, the guy walks into the burning room?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you expect that guy to put the fire out?
Exactly. He inherited all the things.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, so...
I don't know. I just thought that was a dumb thing, because people were actually, like, straight threatening him, his kids, and all that. It's like, dude, you can't do that. Calm down, internet. And I don't know. I thought that was dumb. But at the end of the day, here we are. He dipped too.
Yeah.
He's not the director anymore. So now we're...
And he quoted it as like a dream job.
Yeah, a dream job. Yep.
Yeah, which sucks.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you can tell the inspiration.
Yeah, if you
in
watch,
his work.
Yeah, you watch Happy Death Day, Freaky, you can just feel the vibe right there from it.
Mm-hmm.
That, like, he loves Scream and just horror movies in general. And with that in mind, people who even attacked him before, like for this and all that, just I'm like, bro, you don't even deserve to be in the community because this guy dropped a dream job. Like, come on now.
Yeah, no. It just all around this situation sucks. So, how I want to pivot now that we've kind of caught everybody up, which everybody probably is. They just want to hear maybe what we're saying. What do you think should happen now?
All right.
What do you think should happen? What do you think is going to happen?
Okay.
And in an ideal scenario, if it's going to happen, what do you want to happen?
All right. I'll lay down my rules here, and then I'll let you lay down your opinions here. Okay.
Yes.
All right. You know me. I imagine by now.
I met you
I mean, we've hung out a few times.
once.
So, I am probably one of the biggest Scream fans. It is my favorite franchise.
He's a screamer.
Oh, yeah. So, Scream 1 is my favorite movie of all time, and Scream as a franchise is my favorite horror movie and probably movie franchise as a whole. And I have stuck with it through thick and thin, all the ups, all the downs, which I honestly think Scream has been a very consistently up franchise.
You've stuck through all the ups, the 1, 2, 4, 5, 6s, and the downs, the 3s.
Okay, so Scream 3 is probably the only movie I would say is not the best. I still have fun with that movie. It's a fun time, but it was basically a spoof on what Scream should be. But we're not going to get into it, but Scream 3 was the way it was.
Oh!
Did you kick it?
I did.
It's all over.
It's over, man. Oh, man. That's going to be great.
Yeah, there we go. All right,
that's not bad.
Yeah, we're good. All right. So I'll start with Scream 3 again. You can just edit that.
Okay. I guess I'll edit that.
You're good at edit it.
What
Then
am
he's
I
going to
doing?
leave it in.
I'm going to leave it in. Fuck you.
Well, Scream 3 anyway, it was the way it was because of Columbine and all that stuff, having to cut out gore and rewrites, whatever.
God damn it, Columbine.
Oh, God. No, stop. That's terrible. But nonetheless, Scream 3, it was decent for what it was. Anyway, I'm a big Scream guy. Ghostface all the way. And with that in mind, Scream 7 should not happen. With all of these things that have been done, that have been said, I personally think Scream 7 should not happen until we fix the elephant in the room, and that is get to rehire the actors and pay them what they deserve. With that in mind, do I think that's going to happen? Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. I think the idea of Melissa coming back at this point, oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I think she as a person is not coming back.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, she's just, no.
She's no.
So
yeah, she's not going to show up for a cameo in 20 years either.
Yeah, I think she's done with it,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. I think Scream 7 is going to happen, and there are rumors that it's going to be a reboot. I would rather die, because all of the movies have been connected in ways and forms. I do not want a reboot of the franchise. You stop right now, Spyglass.
It is interesting, though, that people have taken to looking back at Scream 6's ending as the end of the franchise.
Yeah.
I think it works.
I think it does.
I think it works well enough. I mean,
it ties back in, so, and then like her basically being related to Billy, dropping the mask. I think it's a pretty good ending. And then
Right.
Sydney has her happy ending. She's not involved in the last one. She's off doing her own thing. I think if that's what we're ending at, I'd rather do that than a Scream 7. That's going to be terrible.
yep.
But what's going to happen is we're getting a Scream 7, and if a reboot happens, I'll watch it. I'll be there.
Do you think the brother and sister are in it?
No.
No.
Mindy and Chad will not be in it, and if they are, it makes no sense if we're not going to have the other part of the core four in there. I
I just thought maybe spin it off with just like a them problem. But then why wouldn't they call in?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. I think what they're realistically going to do, reboot. They're going to make a reboot, or they're going to, as I said, what I would love for them to do if they're going to continue, get Nev Campbell back, bring Mark, like Sydney, Mark, and the kids.
Yeah.
Opening scene, kill Mark, Sydney gets back involved, Gail gets involved, maybe get Kirby back, and then new characters. That's what we're going to have to do.
Get Thanos in there.
That's the realistic form of what's going to happen, in my opinion.
Thanos?
Yeah.
Okay. Just
Yes,
making sure.
sir.
All right,
But,
I was just
yeah,
making sure.
Your opinions. That's kind of where I'm at with it.
My opinion, kill the franchise. Let it die. I mean it. This is not a franchise that I ever want to see again, unless Scream 7 happens as intended, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Take this franchise out back and shoot it in the head. I'm dead serious. I love this franchise, but it should not continue under false pretenses. It should not be a different franchise pretending to be Scream.
Yeah.
And without the... How do I want to say this? Without the influence of Wes Craven with the originals, or with the handiwork of Radio Silence, or someone who is heavily influenced like Landon, then I don't know who could properly handle this franchise.
That's the thing. They fumbled all these people. They got lucky. Spyglass got lucky with these people who had passion for the franchise like Wes Craven did. And
Nobody has... You've got to have equal parts passion and talent. I think there's talented people that aren't passionate about this exact slice of thriller horror comedy.
Yep.
And you've basically... I'm sure there are more that are similar. But they don't need to be well known. I mean, per se, but none come to my mind.
No.
So,
I don't know.
Have AI write a new script.
No.
Call it a different name and go crazy, okay? But just don't do anything with Scream. Leave Scream alone. Let Scream be a double trilogy. You can now argue that Scream 4 through 6 is a trilogy because it involved Kirby twice. Okay?
I guess you could, yeah.
That's the best you can do.
And it had Sydney in it twice.
Yeah, that's the best you can do. So let it be a double trilogy. Call it good.
I agree. I would rather it end on a happy note as a very consistent franchise than to just
never
mess
reboot
it up.
it.
Yeah,
never reboot it. I don't mean 20 years down the road, or maybe not that far because it won't matter, but 5 years from now, don't say Scream Reborn instead of Scream 7. Go fuck yourselves.
Yeah, no one wants that. Literally,
we ain't
no
watching. You know what I mean? Dislike.
So I guess we'll see if they make it. I mean, I'm sure we'll watch it and we'll review it.
We will,
and we'll see how it goes. But I don't see it going anywhere.
We're sneaking into the theater though. We're not buying a ticket.
I just don't see it working. I really don't.
I don't either. I follow one of those Hollywood insiders accounts that and specifically he is really big fan of Scream, and I'm always kind of he's always got these supposed scoops about these different things I don't fucking care about, but I'm always on the lookout has he got anything to say about Scream, because if anybody's gonna know something it's probably him. And I'm just let's see, and so far I haven't seen anything here recently. Every once in a while some news will break and then it'll be the pop culture Twitter accounts, and then he'll be like, see, I had this on my podcast 3 weeks ago. Great.
He's cooking.
He's cooking. But anyway,
yeah,
that being said,
we'll see. If they make a Scream 7, we'll be there. We'll review it.
We will. Scream Reborn is what I'm calling it.
Oh, God.
Okay, so let's see. How long are we going here? 38 minutes. We'll keep this one a little bit shorter, and I don't think we'll have as much to talk about for this one. We'll try to keep this under an hour.
Okay. Next topic, then?
Next topic.
I'm curious.
I'm going to talk about public domain for a minute.
Oh,
okay.
No.
So this is borderline going to be more of a gaming topic, but it definitely has its roots in film as well. So public domain is something I've become super aware of over the last, 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years, of, a character that has been a long-standing held IP, such as Winnie the Pooh, or the original Mickey the Mouse.
Mickey the Mouse, huh? Yeah, Mickey the
Winnie
Mouse.
the Pooh or Mickey the Mouse.
Yeah.
I'm the diggity doll, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, so most recently, Mickey Mouse, the original Steamboat black and white edition, has become public domain, which what that basically means is there's no copyright on it anymore. Nobody owns that. It's something that it's become so ubiquitous to society that it's just out there. Anybody can do anything with it. You get that a lot with like children's books, like fairy tales,
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like that's, you've got like Neverland and like all. I'm trying to think of like what am I trying to say, like Sleeping Beauty and shit like that. I don't know if those actually are public domains, but like you see very similar versions of that all the time. But and I just want to know what stands out to you the most, but I feel like the number one thing, as soon as something becomes public domain, especially when it's a kid's property, is let's make it horror.
Yep.
So, obviously we had, is it called just Blood and Honey or Winnie the Pooh?
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
And I've watched that. You haven't.
You've seen it.
Yeah.
I've not. It's bad.
Terrible.
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 Okay.
Actually bad.
And the idea for this is that like it's playing on both your nostalgia as well as your expectations of some character and just throwing it out the door for some cheap thrills, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what the idea is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't good, right?
No.
And now that it's getting a sequel, right?
It's getting a
It's
sequel.
getting a sequel.
Supposed to have a bigger budget and all that jazz.
Well, we'll see, right?
It can't be any lower than worse than what it was. It's so bad.
That's fair enough.
It's so bad. You can't even see anything that's going on. It's that dark.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Don't have to have good effects if you can't see them.
Oh, so
Again,
terrible.
I've not seen anything about the movie other than a few screenshots, so it's fine. And now with Mickey Mouse, we've had 2 new movies announced.
And a game.
And a game.
Yep.
Potentially 2 games. I'm really holding out for that other one. And I'm just really interested. And Winnie the Pooh had games too. I don't know if you knew this.
I know.
Like, there's one in development right now called 100 Acre Wood. It actually looks like a really cool horror game where Winnie the Pooh is chasing you. And I think you're Christopher Robin as well. You play as Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh is chasing you. Really cool, and it's actually from like a pretty well-known developer within the indie scene.
Gotcha.
So that I'm actually really excited for. And then there was another game. I want to say it's kind of like a deck building type game where you're building up the monstrosity of Winnie the Pooh. Like, I don't know if it's like a Spore type situation.
Yeah,
I don't
I've seen
know.
that one. I've seen
You've
that
seen
one.
it?
That one.
You've seen that game? I don't know anything about
I don't know anything about it either,
I've just
but
heard
I've seen
of it.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So really my talking point for this, other than just saying all that, is that, are there any licenses like that you're excited to see get turned into something like that? Or is there anything, for instance, that, do you not like the B-rated horror films
I mean,
getting turned out of these children IP? Do you, what are you excited for? Anything else? Other examples even? Is there just, it's a talking point. Anything you want. Take it wherever you want.
well, I, as a person who loves horror in general, I don't mind B movies. Horror B movies are actually fun.
Here's another one for you. Sorry. Liza P.
Yeah, Liza P. Yeah,
Liza P.
that-
Pinocchio.
Which that turned out apparently very well.
That was good. So that's another big example.
That's the thing, though. The difference between a bad and a good B horror movie / game.
Yeah.
That's the difference. I don't like Winnie the Pooh, for example, was actually terrible. There was no I was cool with the concept of a horror bear, Winnie the Pooh, going around killing people. Like the concept of Christopher Robin leaving them for college, coming back, and then them all being like crazy because they were used to like Christopher Robin feeding them, so they had to like cannibalize each other and all that.
Mm-hmm.
That whole concept is a cool idea.
Spoilers.
That's just the concept. Like, it's not even like what happens.
I'm sorry.
Just the the concept at the beginning
Gotcha.
as to why they're. But now, the execution was terrible, and the sequel, I'll be there. I'll watch it. But yeah, I
Think it'll get a theatrical release?
The first one had one
Fair
for
enough.
like a day.
Fair enough.
At ours,
I missed it.
our theater, it was in for a day. That's it. But yeah, things like Liza P was really done well. I don't know if it was like the blah, 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 I don't know why I'm going brain dead here. The actual IP of it, but I watched it. Just told you I watched it yesterday. That Grinch movie,
Yeah.
the Mean One is what it was called, the horror Grinch one. That one was unironically pretty decent.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
From the way it sounds, the way you talk about it, I feel like that's not public.
I don't think it's public.
Just they just really marched around it.
Because like there was a lot of things they didn't say in there or do.
Like,
so
yeah,
I think that like they just made a movie and concept around it, and that movie was unironically pretty good. I actually thought that one was done well, especially compared to things like Winnie the Pooh.
Outside of this, because I don't want anybody to steal my idea, I have a really cool idea for a horror game.
Let's hear it.
No, I can't tell. I can't tell you. Not now with the cameras rolling. I'll tell you about it in 5 to 10 minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
But I think for like the Mickey Mouse thing, as soon as it was like, oh, public domain is coming up, I'm like, oh, well, let's see these horror movies.
Yeah.
Like we all knew it was going to happen. And it does happen with everything that's like childish related. Like as soon as it becomes, it seems that they always have one. Listen, I'd be down to clown with like some Teletubbies horror movie if it done correctly.
Right.
You know, that'd be cool. I don't know. We'll just have to see what they do and what does come public domain recently.
I'll need to look that up. I'm actually working, like, this is a talking point. I wanted to kind of get your opinions on this because I'm making a video about public domain in gaming specifically, because that's kind of what my Falling Hurts channel is about.
Yeah.
And, you know, of course, Lies of P, the mouse game, the 100 Acre Wood, that other Winnie the Pooh game, which I'll look into more. I haven't yet. But, like, these are all things that I'll be looking at and talking about.
Yeah.
And did you know, and I told you earlier that there is a game that is going to feature Batman in the game and in the title, and but it's not slated to come out until 2030.
Yeah, you were telling me.
So I believe it's 2030. It might be a little bit later. I'm not sure, but the idea is that by then he'll be public domain, or at least some version of Batman will be public domain, because that's what's interesting about Mickey Mouse right now is it's not every version.
It's
just
not
red
Steamboat.
overalls.
Yeah.
It's just the Steamboat black and white Mickey Mouse.
It's such a weird concept.
It is weird, and
to still be able to hold on to some of the IP/identity.
I think it's just the different iterations and like the different designs and everything, which makes me curious about like something like Batman.
Weird, because can't you renew those things?
Well, see, I always thought it was a situation where you have to use it or you lose it. You know what I mean? So, like, you haven't used... But then again, it's like... Disney uses black and white Mickey Mouse all the time for their introductory logos. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's like Disney 50th, and it's go... Blam, 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 blam. Yeah, all the time. So I'm like, well, they've used it.
Well, I know it's about like time, like, you know, the amount of time passes, and then
it's.
But I always thought you could renew it if you wanted to where you.
I mean, maybe that's just it. Maybe there is like a. But then again, that's something I'm gonna have to look up for my video. That's a great point.
It's just a weird concept in general. I've never understood how it worked.
It is a fairly weird concept.
But at the end of the day, I mean, horror movies, horror games, I'm all there for it. They need to not be trash. That's my opinion. I'm cool with the different takes and different like versions of all of these characters and like what people want to do with them. Yeah. Whether it be a horror movie or just be something different. You know, that's fine. But don't make it terrible. Don't just be like, I'm just going to take this and make it into like not even a B movie, a fucking F movie. Yeah. Like, Winnie the Pooh, dude, don't watch it, please.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, to you who may have gotten this far in the video, let us know what you think about public domain. What do you want to see? What are you excited to see in public domain? What do you hate about when something becomes public domain and gets instantly bastardized into the most terrible thing ever? And what do you think about me and how beautiful I am? Do you want to see me in public domain? What about him? That's what that's what we gotta know, man. Do you have any closing remarks?
No, other than I thought this was a pretty good way to get back into it.
Yes.
Introduce ourselves, introduce the channel.
Welcome to 2024.
And we'll get this camera thing fixed, I feel. Yeah. Probably pretty soon. And other than that, over time, we're going to decorate the wall more, get this thing
Back
going.
behind, yeah, everything back there is mine.
It's true. I'm slacking on
You
my
have
side.
nothing to do. Got Tunic, Alien, Firewatch, Life is Strange, Firewatch again back there in the corner, Limerick, and Doom, and Metroid. So, that being said, get your shit together. If you haven't subscribed, get your shit together. And Happy New Year.
Yep, Happy New Year.